Then students, our today's topic is laws of motion. Then laws of motion. Students, in my last class I discussed that to study the first law of motion you all should know about the inertia. And I discussed about inertia and I have uploaded a video also, and I told you that inertia means tendency of a body to oppose. Whenever a body opposes its state, then the inertia comes there. State means whenever a body wants to stay in rest, when a body wants to stay in motion, then such type of opposing property is known as inertia. And I discussed also that there are three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Students, now we are going to discuss our first law of motion. First law, most important law. Students, in first law we will study and we will discuss that the first law says that whenever a body is in rest, then it will be in rest. Whenever a body is in motion, then it will be in motion until and unless an external force is applied. This is the first law. And first law says that if a body is in rest, then it always be in rest. Suppose this duster is in rest, then it always be in rest until and unless you are applying an external force. If you apply external force, then duster will change its position. Then first law says that if a body is in rest, then it will be in rest. Second says it, if a body is in motion, then it will be a motion. Suppose if you roll a ball on the ground, what happens? After some time, ball gets stopped. Why? Because of there is a friction force which opposes the motion of ball. But if there is no friction, then ball will continue to move. Then our first law says if a body is in rest, then it will be in rest. If a body is in motion, then it will be in motion until and unless an external force is applied. And one more thing, students, you can study or you can remember this first law. You can remember this first law by saying F external is equal to 0. First law says that if external force is 0, then the body will maintain its state. And state are of two types, rest or motion. Then our first law says that whenever a body is in rest, then it will be in rest. When a body is in motion, then it will be in motion until and unless an external force is applied. The very good example of the first law is, you can see students, the revolution of earth around the sun. Earth revolves around the sun without any fuel, without any petrol. There is no need to any type of petrol, any type of fuel. It automatically moves around the sun. Why? Because of the first law. Because first law says that if a body is in motion, then it will be continue in motion, and from millions, trillions of the year, earth is continuously moving. Because there is a first law. Is it clear, students? Students, the first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia. The first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia, because here the property of inertia is applicable. The first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia, because inertia is the tendency to oppose, and this is available in our first law. Then our first law says that, again I repeat, if a body is in rest, then it will be in rest. If a body is in motion, then it will be in motion until and unless an external force is applied. Okay. Now we are going to discuss our second law. Now if you want to write it, you can write and you can see the recap video also. Students, now we are going to discuss second law of motion. Second law of motion. Students, in this second law, before discussing the second law, we all should know about a term, and that term is called momentum. Most important term, students. First of all, we will discuss momentum, and after that we will discuss about the second law. Then I am going to discuss about the momentum. I am going to discuss about the momentum. It is denoted by a letter P. We will use the symbol P to denote the momentum. To understand the concept of momentum, students, I am going to take an example, and I have already told you that always study physics by taking examples of your daily life. Again I repeat, always try to study the physics by taking examples of your daily life. Students, to understand the concept of momentum, I have an example. Suppose you have a glass plate. This is a glass plate. Suppose you have a glass plate, and I am going to drop this chalk. I am going to drop this chalk on this glass plate. I am going to drop this chalk on the glass plate. And after that, I am going to drop this duster on this glass plate. One by one I will do this experiment. In my first step, I will drop this small piece of chalk in this glass plate, and in my second step, I will drop this duster. In my first step, I will drop this piece of chalk, and in my second step, I will drop this piece of duster. Students, the question arises, which one will be able to break the glass? I am asking from you, which one will be able to break the glass? This small chalk or this duster? Duster. Why? Why?
Because duster is heavier than the
Very good answer. Duster is heavier than the piece of small. Means, students, we have a concept. We have a new concept that more mass, more tendency to apply the force. In these two bodies, the duster has more mass, and that's why duster has more tendency to apply the force. Is it clear or not? Is it clear that the body which has greater mass has a greater ability to apply the force? Is it clear, students? Okay. Now I am going to write a concept that force depends on the mass. More mass, more force. Because this chalk has a smaller mass and this duster has greater mass, then this duster will be easily able to break this glass plate. Okay. Now one more example is there. Suppose, students, I have two bullets. I have two bullets of gun, pistol. I have two bullets. I have two bullets of a pistol. And I am going to use this pistol, these two bullets. I am going to use these two bullets, number 1 and this is number 2. First bullet is thrown by the hand. I have a target, and on that target, first of all, I am taking this bullet in my hand and I throw it. And in second step, I loaded this bullet. In second step, I loaded this bullet and I fired with the gun. Tell me which one will penetrate the object? By first one or second one? Second one. Why? Why?
Because more force has been applied.
No, because the bullet fired by the gun has greater velocity. The bullet thrown by the hand and the bullet thrown by the gun. If you compare the velocity of these two bullets, you will observe that this second one has higher velocity, and you will say that the body with higher velocity has greater ability to apply the force. Means the force depends on two things. Number one, mass, and number two, velocity. If a body has higher mass, then that body will be easily able to apply the huge amount of force. And if a body has higher velocity, then that body will also be able to apply the more force. Is it clear, students? Then now come to the concept of momentum. Concept of momentum says that the definition of momentum is, first of all I am telling the definition of momentum, and the definition of momentum is ability of a body to apply the force, tendency of a body to apply the force. This is the definition of momentum, and this tendency of body to apply force depends on two things, mass and velocity. And you will say that momentum P is equal to product of mass and velocity. This is the momentum. If someone asks you about the definition of momentum, you will say momentum is the tendency of a body to apply force, and this tendency differs. You will say that the body has the ability of tendency, or you will say the body has tendency of apply force, and this tendency is known as the momentum, and this momentum depends on two things, mass and velocity, and this product of mass and velocity is called momentum. Now comes to the unit of mass is kg and unit of velocity is meter per second. If someone will ask you what is the unit of momentum, you will say kg meter per second. One more thing, momentum is vector or scalar? Tell me, momentum is vector or scalar? Hurry up. How it is vector?
Because velocity is because
Very good. You all are very good. Because velocity is vector, that's why momentum is also vector. To represent the quantity for the vector, we can draw an arrow, but there is no need to draw an arrow. You can always write here, this is a vector quantity. Then students, you can write down the definition. Students, now I am going to tell you the second law of motion. We are going to discuss the second law of motion. And the second law is very easy. If someone has understand the momentum, then he or she can easily understand the second law also. And the second law says, listen carefully. Very easy concept of second law is there. Second law says, if there is change in momentum, listen carefully, Shivani, you are not listening. If there is change in momentum, I repeat again, if there is change in momentum, then the body will experience the force. I repeat again, listen carefully. If there is change in momentum, then body will experience a force. Means whenever you changes the momentum, always you will experience a force. I repeat again, one more time. Whenever you changes the momentum, जब भी आप momentum change करोगे, then you will experience the force. For that I have an example, a great example of our daily life. Suppose you have a balloon. Suppose you have a balloon filled with air. Suppose you have a balloon filled with air, normal air, and I am going to open its mouth. I am going to open its mouth. What happens? Tell me. Whenever you release the mouth of a balloon, what happens? Anybody?
balloon will shrink.
Balloon starts to move randomly. I think we all have done this experiment. First of all, fill the air with air in the balloon and release that. What happens? The balloon starts to move in random direction. Have you done it or not? Not.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think you all have seen in this your daily life whenever you fill air in the balloon. Then what happens? Then students, suppose m is the mass of air. M is the mass of air. M is the mass of air. When you release the balloon's mouth, what happens? The air starts to leak out. Air starts to come out, and what happens? Mass starts to decrease. Mass starts to decrease, and the formula of momentum is mass into velocity. Students, what happens? Your mass is going to decrease. Mass is going to decrease, and whenever the mass will decrease from the balloon, the momentum will change. Whenever the mass will decrease from the balloon, momentum will change, and balloon experiences a force, and balloon start to move in the random direction. Then this is an example. Then our second law says that whenever change in the momentum, body experiences a force. जब भी आप मोमेंटम में चेंज करोगे तो वो बॉडी फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करेगा, और ये बलून इसीलिए फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करता है और वो मूव करने लगता है. क्यों? बिकॉज एयर इज कमिंग आउट, एंड व्हेन एयर विल कम आउट देन मास विल डिक्रीज, दैट्स व्हाई मोमेंटम विल चेंज and the balloon starts to move. Then we are going to write the second law, and second law says that rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force applied. I repeat again, it says that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied, and if you write in this manner, force is equal to the delta P by delta T. Students, here delta P means, here delta means change. Whenever you will use delta means change in momentum, and delta T means time. I repeat again, delta P means change in momentum, delta means change. Then this denotes the change in momentum, and you will write the formula of momentum is mass into velocity. But since momentum is getting changed, then you are using here delta V. Delta V means change in velocity. Because to change momentum, you should change the velocity upon delta T. And what happens? Mass, and see this. Tell me, what is this? Change in velocity upon time. Change in velocity upon time.
Acceleration.
Very good. Acceleration. MA. This is the second law, and we have obtained the formula of second law. F is equal to MA. Very easy concept. You will say that the rate of change of momentum. Rate means whenever you apply the rate of change, there a term time will come. Then you are writing here change in momentum upon time. And change in momentum means mass into velocity. Since you want to change the momentum, you should change the velocity. Then there delta denotes the change in velocity, delta T denotes the change in time, and the change in velocity upon time is the acceleration. Then the formula is force is equal to mass into acceleration. Then students, this was for today, and in our next class we will discuss our third law of motion, and our second law of motion is most important law, and we will also discuss that the second law of motion is the master law. By using second law, you can verify first law as well as third law. But before ending this class, I will remind you that everyone knows about the third law. You all know about the third law. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Okay? Then thank you for watching, students.